Alright guys, so this is another comic review, and this time around we're going to be reviewing Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons 2. A long while back, I read and reviewed the last crossover, and it's been a while since I've read this and talked Rick and Morty in general, mostly because I've kind of fallen out with the show, because I just feel like it's so I feel like it's just getting mean-spirited, and also depending way more on gross-out humor. It's also getting to the point where it's like the same people who say like, I've come to this realization, and I know I don't speak for and I fully acknowledge that I don't speak for everyone, but like 90% of people who say like Marvel has gone woke and has lost all of its fans are really are like diehard Rick and Morty fans. Like they have to like follow that to believe it. It's almost like, like if you're a football, like there are some football fans who consider Tom Brady football Jesus. It's kind of like that, where a lot of the fandom and a lot of the show has really dropped off for me. If you still like it, that's fine. But personally, I'm just like, Jesus, this show is starting to get really mean-spirited, and also like the fandom is also getting really toxic. So I was like, well, that's my cue to skidoo. That's the dumbest shit I've ever said in my entirety here. Anyway, but still, I was curious about the Rick and Morty Dungeons and Dragons crossover, mostly because I really liked the first one. That one ended on a really good note and still felt like the original show. It really did, and Jim Zub is also, which is funny because I just did a review on Hellions, which Jim Zub also wrote, and I wouldn't be lying if I said I wasn't interested in the upcoming Rick and Morty versus Cthulhu crossover that Zub is also writing too. So I'm not, I'm still like I'll still check out Rick and Morty, like the occasional Rick and Morty comics. So yeah. And again, I really like this, and also like there was kind of a little zeitgeist to it because of how well Dungeons and Dragons like interweaved with Rick and Morty. It was a nice little bread and butter story. So yeah, so let's get into the actual comic, shall we? So the story is that we've taken place a little further in the future after the events of the first comic, and the whole planet is getting obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, to the point where Rick is the only person unaffected by it, and he discovers it's like a virus that's infecting everyone. However, there's something behind this. That thing is Rick's original D&D character, that being Bard Rick. So Bard Rick, that's literally what they call him the whole story, and all the other characters that Rick had created and thrown away have come together to create a thing called the Painscape, which is this merging of the Rick and Morty universe with the D&D universe. It's a really neat idea, and I really do like how well Jim Zub clearly knows. Like, this is what I like about Zub, is that Zub clearly understands like the work behind like he generally understands the ins and outs of D&D. He also has a perfect voice for all the characters. Like, I can hear Summer, I can hear Jerry, I can hear all of them. I also like how he writes Jerry in here, because it's such a like in the first book where Jerry is like a low-key, like, total badass when it comes to D&D, and he's ready to fight anything. It's a lot of fun. But it's more of Rick's story, anything else, because, well, he is the main character, technically speaking. So, of course, this is the main, this is kind of the main story, so that's kind of where we stand. If you are and also, like I said, Zub clearly has a lot of love for D&D. I saw it a lot in the original comic. This one kind of further expands it with the Vault of Horrors. We get other references to other stuff that I'm gonna have to like ask major D&D fans, because I'm only mild at best. I'm gonna have to ask some major D&D fans some of the other like references in here, and like how they hold up and what the meaning behind them is. So that, but all in all, it is fun. It's like a fun adventure comic. It is kind of fun to live in an era where sequel crossovers could happen now, because for the longest time it was just like a one-and-done crossover and a miniseries, and that was it. But now we're getting a lot of these. I did do a few weeks ago the sequel to Archie versus Predator. And it was a decent book. It was very out of left field, but this one, it really does feel like it's not like shitting on D&D. Like, that's what I like. This is the thing, like I was just talking about with Rick and Morty, where it's like it's getting very mean-spirited, and this one, it feels like, yeah, it's Rick and Morty, but there's like it's more like Jim Zub is jabbing at the stuff in here in Rick and Morty. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great little references. I really do enjoy that this is also a 4-issue miniseries that really glides by really fast, and it's the same thing with like the first book, where it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome or wrapped things up too fast. A 4-issue, it's one of those few times where a 4-issue crossover doesn't feel like it's, like too short or like it's wrapped up too fast. I feel like Zub really knows, like, after, again, going back to Hellions, I really do feel like Zub knows how to write a complete and concise story in a minimal amount of time. And that's probably why this and the other one works. I'm kind of shocked that we haven't got a Rick and Morty D&D crossover 3, but then again, it looks like they've done a whole omnibus about it, and I'm like, just as a pet peeve, and I'm going to talk about this, I usually don't get huge DVD collections of things, like a huge box set of, like, movie collections. I will get of seasons of stuff, but if it's like a movie collection, I won't get them, because sooner or later another fucking movie in that franchise is going to be a part of it, and then it's just going to be, the DVD is just going to be, the next installment of that franchise is going to be right there next to the box set, and not in there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Is that just a pet peeve of mine? I don't know. Like, that just bothers me on some level. It's like Dragon Ball Z Abridged when I'm looking at it on my DVD shelf. I'm like, it's fine, it doesn't bother me, it bothers me a lot! Anyway, I'm rambling now. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Rick and Morty versus D&D 2 Painscape? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on to my Patreon for exclusive content, and if you hit the 4th tier, you guys can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.